y'all. Welcome to Heath and Hunter Work to Shoot, episode
3.
It's been quite a ride on Twitter. We've been blowing up, interacting with you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, this week it was more instead of just likes and retweets. We also got some comments back and forth from multiple fans this time, and it's been great seeing everyone's opinions and thoughts on the same subject, whether they agree with us, disagree, have other thoughts of where it could go. It's been very interesting,
and that just really helps us out overall because it expands our brand. But then we're all one big community, so we want to expose you guys too. And now that we're starting to get up in followers, if you interact with us, we're going to interact back, and whatever you say to us will be seen by almost 400 people now. Yeah. So keep doing that. It's been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm Hunter, and that's Heath. I do live tweets on Monday night, so I'm the one that does the Monday night review.
And I do live tweets on Tuesday night, so I'm the one who does the Smackdown review.
So we're going to jump right into Raw review. It opened with Chris Jericho looking for his list, and it was funny, I thought. It was a good little segment. Of course, Seth Rollins had it. I think Chris Jericho is delivering some of the best work of his career right now, honestly. Especially character work.
It's just, when you look at his character now, it's like, he went from kind of being a serious heel to kind of now he's a jokey, funny kind of heel, but it works for him.
Yeah.
Because I think
he's a funny dad that everyone loves.
The fans wanted him to be that, and he became what the fans wanted, which just shows how versatile he is as a character and as just a talent overall.
Once again, my only real issue with opening up with Chris Jericho and being against Seth Rollins is that Kevin Owens had a feud that's not about him whatsoever. It's so obvious that Kevin Owens is just an interim title holder to get either over to Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. And it's really sad because Kevin Owens is a great worker, character work and in ring. So I don't really like how it's either about Stephanie or it's about Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. And of course, the triple threat at the end of the show kind of rectified that a little bit, but we'll get to that later, of course. After that, it was one of the most shocking results of the night. Enzo Amore going over Carl Anderson. Uncleanly. You had Big Cass kick Carl Anderson while the ref wasn't looking. Why? Why is your mega face tag team cheating? And especially over against Gallows and Anderson, a team that really needs a win because they can't beat anyone. We said on the show so many times, putting Gallows and Anderson with AJ Styles was an awful idea. It sounded cool to begin with because everyone wanted the Bullet Club in WWE, but it's really ruined their run. Wouldn't you say?
I would have to agree, only because it's just they can exist without AJ. You just have to, it's kind of I feel like Gallows and Anderson are the same thing as Bray. In between pay-per-views, their promo work and their feud work is great, but when it comes down to what do you do for me on Sundays, and you lose every single time, why would I care? Why do I buy into you anymore? Because you're doing about losing. I wouldn't really
say their character work's been great. I think they've been... what have you liked about their character work? I hated when they were doctors. I hated when they were retirement specialists.
The doctors one was okay. The retirement specialist was okay, they went too far with this. I really want to know who backstage and creative said, guys, I have a great idea. Let's take these two badasses and make them comedy doctors with the old day gimmick. And it's come on.
Yeah.
Come on. How stupid do you think we are? Come on.
If I did not have previous knowledge of Gallows and Anderson, I would not be a fan, and I doubt anyone else would be. Because, to me, their character work's been shoddy. I haven't really enjoyed it that much. I love them in ring. They're such a great tag team. But their character work just hasn't really done it for me. And a lot of that would be because of the booking. But... It's kind of their issue too, but I think that all goes back to what I've been saying. Putting them with AJ Styles set them up for failure. So we'll get more into that when we do our Hell in a Cell predictions later on in the show. After that, it was Rusev's heel promo, which really was more like a face promo, because Rusev said, "Roman, you insulted my family, you insulted my wife," which is all true. So I don't really understand how he's supposed to be a heel when Roman's been the one acting like a heel. And
unless they're set up for a potential double turn.
Which I would love.
I would love a double turn.
Yeah.
I think Roman's been kind of leaning more heel lately. Rusev's been kind of leaning more a little bit kind of like a face-ish kind of. I know Roman's done nothing but attack. He's insulted Rusev. He's insulted Lana, Lana's just there being a good manager.
If we go back to the beginning of this feud, it all started because Roman interrupted Rusev and Lana's wedding celebration. So that kind of set Roman up for a failure if you really wanted him to be delivered as a face.
Oh no, that's how you deliver faces.
Yeah,
that's face work right there.
Me and you, we were talking about this actually earlier on the week, not on the podcast, but Roman's done fine, but he has been booked so bad. Like you want him to be booked, you want him to be a face, but you're not booking him as a face. And I don't know if that's not Roman. Maybe Roman doesn't know how to act like a face. But if that's the case, then just make him a heel. Let him be what he needs to be.
Which I feel like, earlier this week, people at What Culture Simon Miller did a thing about why Roman shouldn't be hated. It really got me thinking. I was thinking back about this year. Roman's in about 3 or 4 of my top 10 matches from the year. He's just been amazing.
His work's been fine.
Him and AJ was phenomenal. Him and Seth were good. Like, he tried to make that match with Triple H at WrestleMania good. It's just the booking. It's like, if you're going to book him to be a face, do a good job booking him to be a face. He can't be a face with heel actions.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not like that Stone Cold kind of face. He isn't.
Yeah. After that, Sheamus and Cesaro defeated New Day. Okay.
50-50 booking.
50-50 booking. You believe that Sheamus and Cesaro is going to win this Sunday, which is crazy because it's so obvious that that New Day is going to be the longest-running tag team champions of all time. So I don't agree with you at all there. But it was a fine match. I thought it was kind of weird giving Sheamus the pin. I thought maybe Cesaro would get it more. But you know how they feel about Sheamus. After that, it was, wow. Some say the worst segment so far this year, second maybe only to the old day, was Dana Brooke and Bayley arm wrestling. Okay, so let's set this up. Dana Brooke challenged Bayley to an arm wrestling contest. Bayley's still nursing an injury. So, of course, Dana Brooke dominates the first one with I believe, the right arm. So, Dana Brooke easily wins it. As she should. Look at Dana Brooke, look at Bayley. The difference in physiques, obviously. Then the second one, of course, for some reason, people still trying to get Bayley over as a face, even though she's already over. So, they're like, okay, well, she's going to fight the odds, and she's going to win this arm wrestling contest. And she almost does. Dana punches her in the face. Bayley delivers a Bayley to Bayley suplex, and the crowd throughout the whole thing chanting, "This is awful."
The crowd is what you got to judge your segments on, because apparently, as what we'll discuss probably later on in your recap, crowd determines a lot of what goes on backstage during a live show.
And it's sad. Like, Dana's been fine. Like we said last week, Dana's delivered. She's been the fourth woman on Raw, and she does a fine job of that. But setting her up like this, where because of how over Bayley is, when you set her up with Dana and the segment fails, everyone's gonna blame Dana. No one's gonna blame Bayley, and that's why everyone's saying, like, "Oh, Dana sucks," like this. Bayley was in it too, but no one's gonna blame Bayley because she's the most over baby face in the company.
And it's like when I look at Dana Brooke, there's only really one person I think on both SmackDown and Raw roster compared to. That's Alexa, because they both came into main roster like. They're kind of too green to be on the main roster. They're not really, they didn't show off the most impressive work in NXT. Then all of a sudden they get called up. And it's like, you see Dana sitting here and like, yeah, she's been the fourth woman, but she hasn't been the greatest at it. And Alexa is arguably the best, I'm going to go ahead and say, because I think based on what I've seen the past month and a half of work, Alexa might be the best overall character right now in the women's division. Just from pure promos, in-ring work. Like, she's killed it. Like, she's everything they've given her, she's killed it all.
I could probably get with that.
She's got a feud over with Becky completely by herself.
Yeah, without a doubt. But so that was really sad that everyone blamed Dana. And I don't want to be a Dana Brooke defender because, like, whatever, I don't care about her. But when you set her up with Bayley and the segment fails, it's always gonna be to the detriment of Dana Brooke. No one's ever gonna blame Bayley. Bo Dallas beat Curtis Axel, which further increases our theory, our Heath Hunter Worker Shoot theory of a babyface will never win a match in their hometown. Sorry, Becky, but you're losing in 2 weeks. Curtis Axel's in his hometown, and Bo Dallas goes over. That's fine.
Baby faces do not win in the hometown.
I still think it's kind of weird that Bo Dallas is getting pushed after getting a DWI, but not DWI, a drunken disorderly. But whatever, that's fine. Then was Romo's video package. Roman's gonna struggle with a camera in front of his face. It's just true. Like we gave Roman our props. Like I like Roman. He's fine. He's good. He's great in ring. He's not the best technical wrestler, but he's good in ring, if that makes sense. So, but when you put a camera in front of his face and he has to deliver a face promo, especially when he's in this whole story really hasn't been a face at all, it's gonna come off as awkward and stale.
Also, I feel like Roman in backstage interviews or interviews like pre-taped with like him and Michael Cole or anything, he's worse than he is live in front of a live crowd. Like in front of a live crowd, he can do some pretty good work, but I don't think I've ever seen a single Roman Reigns video of him doing a backstage interview or an interview with Michael Cole or something where it's been solid, it's been good. It's always awkward. Like he doesn't know what he doesn't really seem to fit in right there when he's standing around.
Yeah, definitely. So after Roman's promo, there was a Goldust, R-Truth, Mark Henry against Shining Stars. I'm not even going to mention that. Whatever. Then was the Women's Championship signing for their match at Hell in a Cell.
Love me some contract signings.
Where hashtag, I was on fire on my hashtag Mick Foley's a dumbass on Twitter. I almost got it trending by myself. Mick Foley comes out and he delivers it's a fine promo. Like you can definitely tell that there's emotion behind it. He's doing okay. But then he says, do you see what's happened to me? I can barely get up, and I'm not gonna let you guys fight in this match. Mick, you were the one that scheduled this match in the first place. Like, it wasn't them coming to you and saying. And Sasha did say she won this match, but you were the one pushing for it. So why are you all of a sudden gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna let it. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. You were the one that scheduled it. How does that make any sense, Heath?
It just goes to show Raw with their authority figures has no idea what they're doing. Like. One week Steph's face, next week she's heel. 1 week Mick's face, 1 week Mick's heel. It's just like, what are you doing? They get too involved. They get way too involved.
I just can't stand Mick Foley, honestly, right now. Whether it be him on Twitter with the whole Summer Rae thing, which went on last week, whether it be his character work. His character work's been fine, but he doesn't make any sense as a general manager. The whole reason they made him a general manager was to try to get Holy Foley over, which was possibly the worst show on WWE Network. Hashtag bring back Camp WWE.
Bring back Edge and Christian, the show that totally reeks of awesomeness. I loved that. I literally waited every Monday night after Raw to watch that show.
So that was the whole reason he was general manager, was to pump up Holy Foley. But when Holy Foley flopped, there's no point in him being there anymore. Seth's fine I don't like Steph as an authority figure, but she can be the heel that Raw needs. They don't need Mick Foley coming and being like, did you see my ear? My ear's gone.
Steph, I knew when you were a little kid, and I knew you'd be up to things. What are you becoming? You're not the little girl I used to know.
My favorite part of the promo was, Charlotte, I've known you since you were a little girl, and Sasha, my kids have a signed Eddie Guerrero photo that I know you would have loved. I'm like, what? What? And Sasha, you're continuing on Eddie Guerrero's legacy. And
how?
Like,
this is Sasha's the only person who's like they think who her favorite wrestler was growing up. It's like this is your only connection in WWE. You have no other connections, nothing.
So once again, hashtag Mick Foley's a dumbass. Get it trending, guys.
She carries on Snoop's legacy more than she does Dagum Eddie Guerrero's.
After that was one of the best, if not, I don't even know if hanging through this, was the Brock Lesnar Paul Heyman promo. I can just see Vince's face back there.
I just want to thank the Minneapolis crowd for making that segment so much better than what it was.
But if you didn't see it, I'll set the scene for you guys. So essentially, Paul Heyman was supposed to go out there and announce the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match officially for Hell in a Cell, but it was also designed to paint Brock Lesnar as a heel. Okay?
Goldberg sucks.
And then the crowd started chanting Goldberg sucks in Suplex City. Okay.
It just blows my mind how you're going to take someone who's so over just in general
in their hometown
and put them in their hometown and try to cut a heel promo on them.
Now, I understand why Vince was so pissed off because he's like, I just paid Brock Lesnar all this money to come make an appearance. The guy only has 2 appearances left till WrestleMania. I just wasted one, and I only had him out there for 5 minutes. So essentially what happened was Vince saw in the back saw that this was not going to work, that this was not going to paint Brock Lesnar as a heel, especially not in his hometown. So he hit Brock Lesnar music. You can see Paul Heyman's face. He flips the microphone. Paul Heyman's kind of pissed because that's his wheelhouse. He's supposed to be able to work a crowd. I don't know whether he was pissed off at the crowd or at Vince. Probably a little bit of both, honestly.
I'd probably be pissed at Vince because you kind of gave him a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Though I did love Paul Heyman on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. ESPN had posted a link saying Paul Heyman's art of the promo. And Paul Heyman was like, well, if they would have seen what I did last night, they would have pulled this article already. I was like, Paul Heyman is amazing because he just doesn't care. He really doesn't. Also, I'm not so certain that I think Paul Heyman's contract is up. He's just doing appearances because he paid by the appearance thing now because his contract is over with WWE.
So I'm sure they were both fine. I'm sure they were kind of. I mean, I know Brock Lesnar doesn't care, and Paul Heyman probably doesn't care either.
I was watching that part, and I would just think, man, Brock makes easy money.
Yeah, he just
stands there.
Yeah,
just stands there. Doesn't say a damn thing. Just stands there and gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to stand around.
So after that was the triple threat, which turned to a handicap match. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho turned to a 2-on-1 handicap match. Seth Rollins goes over both, which is standard booking. Your face always goes over in a go-home show. Sets up your 50-50 booking for Hell in a Cell. So, all in all, I'm going to say this. People did not like this show. I did not think it was that bad. It had some weird booking, but it entertained me throughout, mostly because of how bad the booking was. I was having a great time. But we'll do our comparison after you do your SmackDown. So Heath, you want to start your SmackDown review?
This week's SmackDown, boy, was it a hoot for a good 2 hours. There was some strange stuff happening up there in Green Bay last night.
Yeah.
Starts off with everyone's favorite, Bray Wyatt. You think you're so damn tough? Well, guess what? You're getting to face the Big Red Demon Kane, and he's gonna wreck you from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And it was I did put a prop bet out there for anybody if you're gambling at home. Gambling's illegal, by the way. You should not be sports betting on pro wrestling. And it was give or take 5 to 7 minutes for either Luke Harper or Randy Orton to get involved. Luke Harper showed up at about 5. It was just weird. It was really, and then Randy's music hits, and he gets down the ring, and everyone's like, "Oh, Randy and Kane about to wreck Bray and Luke Harper," and then Randy hits Kane with an RKO.
And I read the rumors on this, and rumor is that they're going to turn Randy Orton heel, but not make him join the Wyatt family. And I think there's a lot easier ways to get to that end, if that's really what you want to do.
There's more on that later in this recap.
All right, cool.
Because he didn't really say anything. He just kind of left. And Bray got the win, so props to Bray. He gets another win. Next came probably the moment of the night, in my opinion. It was Becky return and Alexa cutting a promo with her. Dear God, Alexa Bliss absolutely scalped Becky Lynch on the mic last night. It was unfair.
Alexa's been great. I mean,
I honestly think she's been the best women's star in the past month and a half. Because Becky's been out with an undisclosed injury. And Alexa's...
Have you seen the rumor behind that?
No.
I don't know. It's from TWFS on YouTube, and they have a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. The rumor is she got an abortion. I don't know. It's just something to think about. And I searched it up, and they're the only ones saying this, but I know that they do have an M. And I mean, that wouldn't really matter or anything. It's just, it would make sense because they said it's a non-wrestling injury. I don't know.
It's strange because typically whenever someone gets hurt or they're out for a month, we typically know why. At least some insider has it. Yeah. I feel like if it's nothing that Meltzer hasn't reported or any of the other big insiders reported, that it's probably something that is not something they want out there, because especially for a babyface. So I can give some light to that rumor. I don't want to address it because that is something that's very touchy subject.
It's completely a rumor. I don't know. I just saw it. I saw it floating around on Twitter, and I searched it up. But I do agree with that, because typically in the company, when you get injured, they turn into work. Well, whether that's your injury or not, whether you can injure your back, but then they would have Alexa come and injure your foot, and you'd be out for a month. But because they didn't do that, I don't know. It's definitely very weird.
Yeah, but I mean, Alexa, like Becky, I don't know what was up with her speaking last night. Like, Becky really reminds me of Dean Ambrose on the mic. It's just because suddenly it'd be like, yeah, Alexa, I'm going to beat you down really badly. And then it's just like, what are you doing? Because Dean does the same thing where he'll be like, yeah, brother, I'm going to come in and I'm going to beat you down because that's what Dean Ambrose does. And it's like, man, why your voice doesn't have to change that much in a promo. I don't get it. I can understand with Dean because he's supposed to be the lunatic fringe, but Becky, you're just a face. You don't need to be talking like that. Though the best part was Alexa Bliss calling her yellow. I was like, that's an old term. I was surprised Alexa Bliss used it. But when her and Becky got into a little fight and she got the paint and she spray painted a yellow stripe on her back, I thought that was the most hilarious thing. It really made Alexa look like a really badass heel, which she already is at the beginning because she does it by herself. And it just worked perfectly. Yeah. And I really think if WWE's smart, you strike while the iron's hot and Alexa goes over in 2 weeks.
She's going to go over because the HHWAS theory of hometown baby faces losing.
She really needs to. It's just she's been great. And plus, if she loses, Becky can have a rematch at Survivor Series, and she loses that, you put Naomi in there. Because once again, Becky's over. She will not lose any of her little fires. She loses to Alexa Bliss. Man, because everyone's acknowledging Alexa has been absolutely murdering it lately. She's been on an absolute tear of the women's division. Next came the bathroom break match of the night, which was Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder versus The Ascension for a spot on the tag team, 5-person tag team at Survivor Series. Which I'm not understanding why they're doing.
So is the Ascension not going to get a spot now?
I'm guessing. I'm just trying to understand, like, who do you have? I think Usos, American Alpha, that was Slater, and them was 4. Mojo and Zack Ryder won, so that's 4 with Usos, American Alpha, Slater, and Rhino. I guess Vaudevillain's your 5th.
Either them.
Breezango's missing for some reason. No one knows where Breezango is. It just didn't make any sense. I personally think the Ascension they're not going to use them. Send them back to NXT. Like they were good in NXT. I liked them there. It's just they're being.
I don't think that can work. I think once you've been promoted to the main roster, I mean the only one that's really worked out for to be promoted, demoted, and come back is Emma. Honestly, because let's think about the people that did that. Eva did it, didn't work. Emma did it, it was okay. I think if they really don't think the Ascension's going anywhere, just release them overall. True. I think something back to NXT would be a mistake.
Now back to the old Randy Orton heel turn. We go backstage and old Randall's doing an interview backstage.
And he just stares at the camera for 30 seconds.
He's staring. I'm like, Randy, talk. There's a mic in front of you. Talk, please. You're killing me here. He's like, all he says is, well, if you can't beat them, join them. It's like, but Randy, when have they actually beaten you? That's my thing. Like, all your matches have either been a DQ or Kane gets involved. Like, there's been no losses here, really. Like, you haven't really lost fair and square.
Every 2 years, Randy goes on, like, the psychological...
Randy goes on a spiritual journey.
He goes
on a spiritual journey every couple of years.
I just can't do this anymore. I'm just like, come on, Randall.
I'm calling him Randall from now on. I just love the Randall line.
It's like with Raw renaming Charlotte to Charlotte Flair. Just rename Randy to Randall.
Randall Orton.
No, just Randall.
Randall out of nowhere.
What's Randall doing in the Impact Zone?
Yeah, it just. I mean, I think it's cool if he joins Wyatt because, like, for once, Bray Wyatt actually, used his supernatural powers to get like an actual decent superstar in his set in his little family. Now came probably for me the most controversial part of the night. Natty versus Nikki Bella for the women's team captain at Smackdown at the Survivor Series. Apparently, Dana Bryan said the loser is not going to be on the team, which
that was dumb.
Which, in my opinion, I was like, okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Let's have both like 2 of your best women's wrestlers in history. One of them's not going to be on your team because whatever the rules are for it, I don't know. I'm just sitting there trying to think. Well, if you lose Natty, and I'm assuming Becky and let's have a rematch. You lose Natty, that's 3 gone. Name me your 5 other women. You got Nikki, Carmella,
Naomi,
Alexa,
and Becky.
No, Alexa Black, you're probably out of a women's title match.
No,
Eva,
I think that's why. I think
gonna,
that's why they're doing it in Glasgow. It's because all 5 of them are going to be on the Survivor Series team.
And my thing is,
I don't know how many title matches are going to be on Survivor Series.
My biggest issue with this is you're going to Toronto. The Hearts are the most over people in WWE history in Canada, and you're going to take the one Heart you have still in the company, and you're not even going to let her compete. If I was Natty, I'd interfere and I'd call Team Smackdown. I would interfere, or at least because we all know that Carmella's gonna not listen to Nikki at all.
Honestly,
you can't tell me tell me that Nikki's gonna willingly pick Carmella to be on the team.
If I was fancy booking this, I would say that Nikki leaves Carmella off, Carmella attacks Nikki, and Natty goes into Nikki's spot. That would be how I would book it. Even though I love Nikki. I would love to see her at Survivor Series. She definitely deserves it. So I just think it was just weird all around to have two of your best and definitely most over, because people hate Nikki, but she has a hell of a lot of fans. Mm-hmm. 2 of your most over female superstars, and only one gets to go.
Which I think what's going to happen is kind of like you said. I think leading up to Survivor Series, Nikki's just going to piss Carmella off so much, and the day before, Mella's going to attack her backstage, knock Nikki out of Survivor Series, and then boom, in comes Natty to be your 5th woman. Huge pop from the crowd. There you go. Everyone wins.
It's just disappointing for Nikki overall, because I want to see Nikki at the Survivor Series.
I want to see Nikki, but if it helps out Natty, because Natty's kind of like the only one's kind of out there by herself right now. She's up in pastures besides Eva, who no one knows what Eva's doing because she's filming movie Nicolas Cage still.
I've been kind of wanting to talk about this too, man. I just thought about it. Nikki's really taken over a veteran role. Like she's putting Carmella over.
Yes.
She
isn't chasing the title.
Exactly.
That's very good. She's not chasing the title. But I don't think you could put her in there anyway. Alexa's been absolutely destroying. Like if Alexa's not your next champion, I think you fail as a women's roster. If she's not your next champion,
I can see it. I want to ask you one more question though. Back to Nikki. Is Nikki a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
I think she is too.
She
carried your division from what? 2009 to 2013. Her and AJ Lee maybe.
When you look at where Nikki started to where Nikki is, it's a massive change. Yeah, she's made it. She also got WWE over outside with Total Bellas and Total Divas, which is good. I mean, she expanded. Which, if you're gonna get mad at her
people get mad about that.
How dare you expand your own brand? Like, how dare you? She expanded WWE brand. She expanded her brand. It's like, I don't see you getting mad at Rock. I don't see you getting mad at Cena. No. I don't see you getting mad at Austin for doing all this stuff. Yeah. They expanded. It's like your in-ring stuff's going to eventually go out. Like, you're going to be able to do it forever. Yeah. Or you want to let the Undertaker who's having a surgery every year and walking around on crutches.
And there are definitely people that were not fans of WWE that watch Total Divas and are now exposed more to the brand itself. Like, why would you not? I don't understand why wrestling fans want wrestling to be so exclusive. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it, but that's a topic for another day.
But if you look at your heights of your wrestling, when it was most widespread, it was during the time when they were including the outside stuff. Look at your add to your WCW Monday Night War stuff. They expanded outside of the wrestling brand. It was a pop culture thing what they were doing. So that's kind of what you want to make money off of. After that was kind of a Dolph Miz promo. Miz comes out, cuts a mean promo on Dolph. Dolph comes in, then Slater and Rhino come in. Then Dolph, the genius Dolph is, challenges Miz to a title fight right there in the ring right now. Miz is wearing a suit. Like, obviously he's not going to take the fight right now wearing a suit. Come on, Dolph.
Hey, he could be Cesaro.
You're smarter than
No,
he's not. Miz is a very snazzy dresser, okay?
Miz is better than Cesaro.
Nobody can outdress anybody.
Miz is better than Cesaro.
I agree. Miz is my number 2 superstar of the year right now.
You know, we already mentioned this. Give me your top 5.
1, AJ.
Yes.
2, Miz.
Yes.
3, Roman. I know people hate that.
I agree with
4,
that.
Charlotte. 5, Jericho. That's my top 5 for right now.
God, yeah, that'd be mine too.
I
wanted to argue with
3 and 4 is Charlotte.
I thought you were gonna leave Charlotte out. Now,
no,
I don't know.
3 and 4. I
don't know if I'd go in that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go in that order. I'd probably say AJ 1, Charlotte 2, then Miz, then Roman, then probably Jericho.
It's just they've been
Kevin Owens. You could definitely argue Kevin Owens as well.
I just think those 5 have been above him. Head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Nobody really burnt. Maybe Ziggler comes in a little bit, like maybe 6. Could maybe toss in there around KO at 6 and 7. But so I think that's it.
But definitely, my 1 and 2 would definitely be AJ Styles and Charlotte. And with that, I mean, one's the GOAT and one's AJ Styles.
Then there was that promo became a Slater and Rhino versus Spirit Squad tag title match, which Miz and Dolph were on commentary. And this was like the only point of the night I actually unmuted my commentary. Well, I had it low because JBL was just making some. He said at one point during the show, the Hearts have never been over in Canada. I was like, what? The Hearts? You mean the most Canadian of Canadians of all time were never over one time in Canada? I was like, let me go rewatch the Montreal Screwjob and let me just double check on these facts a little bit. But yeah, this promo by Miz and Ziggler were going off each other the entire commentary. Didn't even care about the match, and it was best. I don't remember a damn thing about the match. Yeah. I can't tell you any moves that were done in the match.
Yeah. All
I know is that Rhino and Slater won.
Yeah.
And then Miz and Ziggler were getting a fight. Next was finally it took. I thought they were going to do it. I thought for a minute they were not going to show the WWE 2K17 Downtown promo, which is like a fair part of the night. They showed that. Then there was the Dean versus AJ's match. Pretty good match. Dean showed off some kind of new moves. He was doing some different submissions and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt that the entire match they kept paying the camera to Ellsworth too much for him not to be somewhere involved in the finish. And of course, like AJ kept beating him up and hitting him.
You know, if I'm Dave Meltzer, every time Dean Ambrose is the lunatic lariat, I'm taking a star away. If I'm
that match was 3 stars in because he did it twice.
Yeah,
3 stars a star. That's
the worst move in the company. I'm not sure it's close.
Yeah. Then I thought at the end, finally AJ came out and hit Ellsworth again, and then AJ got drop kicked by Dean. Dean was kind of laying in the ring, and then Ellsworth finally he started pumping up. He started hulking up out there. And just super kicks AJ with the ref staring at him. It was like, well, damn. He just cost Dean the title shot. And Dean was looking in the ring. Ellsworth sold his mistake. He was crying.
Yeah,
the tears,
he did the same thing on Talking Smack.
The tears were amazing. He is a great promo guy. I don't understand it, but he was great. I thought it was fair because Dean's been screwing AJ out the past 2 weeks, so it's funny he gets a little bit of payback by the guy he's been helping get over. Also, after SmackDown went off, there was a dark match: Miz versus Ziggler for the for the Intercontinental Championship. From what everybody said, Ziggler won, but it was like a pay-per-view quality match. They did that damn good of a match for free as a dark match. That's what happened on SmackDown.
So now we're doing our comparison. Heath, what's a better show this week, Raw or SmackDown?
I thought SmackDown was better.
So for the 4th week in a row, SmackDown. SmackDown is undefeated on the Heath and Hunter Work Shoot podcast.
This is my thing. I'm not basing this off of me this week. I was looking at people on Twitter.
I mean, our poll, yeah.
And Twitter people, all night when I'm looking on the Twitter for SmackDown Live, everyone's like, more's happened in 10 minutes of SmackDown Live than happened in 3 hours of Raw last night.
Yeah.
That's not something you can have being said. Not like one person, it's multiple people. Hundreds of people are saying this. It just doesn't work.
See, I would say, for mine, from a pure entertainment value, I could definitely find an argument for Raw. I'm trying to find an argument for Raw since Raw is kind of my show in this podcast. I just can't. I'd probably say SmackDown's a better show, but I do think Raw did have the best segment with the list of Jericho.
The list is the most over thing.
I think it did have the best segment. I think Raw was a lot better this week than it's been in weeks past. And
here's how I say this: Raw each week, I think, has consistently had the best individual segment.
Yeah.
Not the best show.
Yeah, exactly.
SmackDown's a complete show. Every match feels like it has purpose. Everything kind of relates to the stories. Like, there's nothing on SmackDown that just kind of doesn't fit.
Exactly. You know? All right, well, we're going to move on to Main Event Mail, the segment where we got our fans involved. Be sure to keep asking us questions on Twitter at HHWorkAShoot. And we got 2 questions. Actually, we have 3.
I had some. I don't know if you had the same ones as me. I forgot I took screenshots of these.
Okay.
There were a couple asked last night.
Well, the first question we were asked, this was from Caesar K. And he says, what's your take on Randy's actions from SmackDown Live? I'll start off with this one. And, of course, we each get a minute to answer.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't think Randy Orton should join the Wyatt family. I think that'd be kind of a weird pairing. It worked with Dana Bryan, but it didn't work. And Dana Bryan's one of the most over people in the company. So I don't think putting Randy at this stage in his career would be a good idea there. I think turning him heel is fine, but I do not think putting him in the Wyatt family is a good idea. Especially if you're trying to build Bray up, which I know they're not going to because of Bray Wyatt and they hate Bray Wyatt. But if you ever want Bray Wyatt to be seen as a true contender or a top of the line guy, you cannot pair him with Randy Orton because that's going to take the spotlight away from him. Go Heath.
I thought it it made me interested in the storyline. Like for the first time this entire like feud, I've actually got people interested. Like I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I really don't. I think Randy's gonna join and then turn his back on him. Randy gets to play a heel, which he's best at in his career. It just doesn't make any sense, really. It really doesn't. But it does pique my interest in the storyline. That's about it. That's mainly all I can see from it. Is I have interest in a storyline.
All right. Well, the next question we got was from Miles on Twitter, and he asked, "If not Dean, who steps up as number one contender?" Go, Heath.
Right now, I think Dean will get the number one contender. I think Daniel will give him a rematch. This time, nobody at ringside. Dean will win this one, get a match at Survivor Series for the title. I think he'll lose that one, and I think the next person probably to step up and challenge for the belt will be the loser of probably Miz. I think Miz will be the next one to challenge for the belt. Like a little mini feud to get him over to Rumble, build somebody else up. That's about as far as I see it going.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I still think Dean Ambrose is going to take this hiatus that's been rumored. I just think that they didn't see it at the right time. I don't think he'll be at Survivor Series. So I think the next person to be number one contender on SmackDown will be Randy Orton, heel. And to try to push AJ back as a face.
Well, I think you could easily flip AJ facing not even one.
So I think that makes a lot more sense because of how Randy Orton's being booked, and it gives them both something to do. So I think Randy Orton. I got one last question from my side, and they just asked. All they said was the cruiserweights. See, I didn't even mention the cruiserweights in my Raw recap because they're that forgettable. Although I do love me some Rich Homie Swan, who should be Cruiserweight Champion because I'm sorry, Internet, TJ Perkins sucks. Brian Kendrick sucks. I hate them both. Rich Homie Swan for life. Everyone else can just get out. Also, not only Rich Homie Swan for life, that's only if you're going to have a Cruiserweight Championship. I'm still team just get rid of it. I hate it. What do you think, Heath?
I read an interesting article about that this morning about cage side seats. They were talking about how the cruiserweights, like when it was in the 90s, when they were with WCW, it was interesting because like you didn't see anybody else doing these moves, these backflips, these top rope suplexes, these dives out of the ring. But now you see it like every week.
Yeah.
You see Roman and Dean and all the doing dives. AJ's more kind of like that cruiserweight kind of like look to him. But you see these big guys doing these impressive moves. It's like it's not as cool when you see the cruiserweight does it. And plus, they kind of limit them as it is.
Exactly.
They're not building anybody with characters. They just literally took two random guys and said, "Here you go. Here's a few. We know nothing about you." Like each week they're talking about Brian and TJ having a history with each other. I wouldn't know that because I didn't watch the Cruiserweight Classic. If you not everyone watched that, I mean WWE.
Not many people did.
It was great. I mean, I watched some of the matches in replay, but like if a standard average fan, they didn't watch it.
No.
So they don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
It's just build. Maybe I think saying scrap both the champion and the challenger now and go some new people that might help it. That's
or just put it on NXT. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, free Rich Homie Swan. You got a final question?
Yes, this is from at Jabroni Drive 16 on Twitter. He asked, "What do you think the teams will be for the women 5-on-5 Survivor Series match?"
Okay, so on SmackDown, I got Carmella, I got Natty, I got Naomi, I got Alexa, and I got Becky. For Raw, I got Charlotte, I got Sasha, I got Bayley, Dana Brooke, and probably Nia Jax. Because I don't think there's going to be very many title matches at Survivor Series. I don't think there can be, especially when you have 3 5-on-5 matches. Thanks for that booking, WWE. What do you think?
I think that we will see for SmackDown. I think we'll have Natty, we'll have Carmella, we will have Naomi, we will have Nikki, and then I think Asuka will come in as the fifth. I think this feud with Becky and Alexa will have a match at Survivor Series just because they missed out at No Mercy. I think Asuka's going to debut at Survivor Series for either one of the teams because I feel like she's going to drop the title for NXT to Mickie James at TakeOver.
No, Mickie James is a one-off.
I don't think it's a one-off, but that's just me personally. And then for Raw, Bayley, Dana, Foxy, Charlotte. Not Foxy. Put Nia in there. Charlotte and Sasha.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch that match. I really don't. So I know SmackDown deserves to win that match, but it's Raw.
They're going to put Raw over.
Raw's women are going over.
Yeah.
Nia Jax's going to win the entire
Raw
team.
might go over on all three front. They're probably going to give them probably probably independent men's. Probably men's singles, but I think Raw. I think a lot of people are gonna be shocked by some of this booking. But that's for our Survivor Series show. Mm-hmm. We're moving on to the pay-per-view this Sunday. Hell in a Cell. We're just gonna preview
Raw
it.
pay-per-view.
We're gonna preview it, and then we're gonna give you our predictions. And whoever loses this week, we're gonna figure out something for the other person to do, kind of as a forfeit. So that'll be decided later on, probably on Twitter. We'll let you guys vote. So Heath.
First match is, I think, the pre-show match. It's Cedric Alexander, Lynn Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Arya Daivari.
Oh, so I don't care about it.
Essentially, yeah, because it's cruiserweight. I know you don't care about cruiserweight.
Sure.
I think Alexander, Dorado, and Cara are going to go over. They're going to beat Nese, Gulak, and Daivari.
Also, I do want to mention this. Heath, me and Heath, we did not show our predictions prior. So if a lot of these are the same, that's just how we feel. Sorry.
I just can't bring myself to purposely argue facts when I can't argue against someone.
We're not going to be fake with you guys. We were asked for feedback on Twitter, and some people said that we need to be more argumentative, but that's just not how we are.
It's like I can't be sitting here and have like Alexa be one of my favorite people, and Hunter also likes Alexa in her work, and be like, oh, I love her, I hate her. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're not going to be Skip Bayless to Stephen A. Smith for you guys. We're going to be real. But once again, I do mention when we do our fantasy bookings, we don't talk about it prior. So everything that I say, that's the first time he's hearing it, and vice versa. So yeah, I also think that Cedric Alexander, Lynn Dorado, whoever the hell that is, and Sin Cara is going to go over. Just because the other three guys I know aren't going to win. Because it's three heels. I know they're not going to win. So sorry.
Right, you don't think Daivari's going to win?
Next match.
I want this to be, Daivari's involved. I want a Punjabi prison match with Daivari in there.
As soon as I heard Drew Gulak, I was like, that team's not going to win. Alright, we can move on.
We'll start with the low card and then we'll work our way up.
Alright.
Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Bayley, I think Bayley's gonna win here. Just because Dana's kind of gone over the past 2 weeks, so Bayley has to get the win here.
Yeah,
50-50 booking.
50-50 booking. Bayley's gonna go over. Bayley's not gonna lose a match until she faces Sasha. Let's face it. Unless they put her in a Nia Jax, wherever Nia Jax has been feud, then I can maybe see Bayley lose and build her back up as as an underdog. But until then, she's not losing. Mm-hmm. So next match.
Next match is Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Okay. Go.
Give me the club.
Really?
50-50 booking. That's the way we run this ship is 50-50 booking. Enzo beat Carl Anderson, Cass beat Gallows, therefore Gallows and Anderson will beat Cass and Enzo. It's just how it works. It's how the system works.
I cannot believe this. I picked Gallows and Anderson as well. Because 50-50 booking always prevails in the end.
It's just how it goes.
That's another. If there's a hashtag that Heath Hunter work a shoot on Twitter, there's two of them. There's Mick Foley's a dumbass, which I almost got trending by myself on Monday night, and there's hashtag 50-50 booking. 50-50 booking is a favorite of mine as well.
I think there are three things I live by when it comes to professional wrestling. One, never get on the list.
Yeah.
Two, babyfaces never win hometowns, and 50-50 booking wins out.
It always prevails. It's tried to fool me a couple times. It really has. But it always prevails in the end.
We did our personal predictions that me, Hunter, and his wife would do during watching last pay-per-view. We all picked Baron Corbin, and I last minute saw that Corbin had lost. No, we all picked Swagger with Corbin. Swagger won the match.
No, you picked Corbin. I picked Swagger.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw Swagger lost.
Yes.
No, Swagger went over.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, can I please switch because 50-50 booking?
Yeah, you saw Swagger went over on Smackdown, and I switched to Baron Corbin because 50-50 booking, and I won. So that helped me win this last pay-per-view's predictions.
All right, what's the next match?
That's one of your favorites, so I'm going to get right to it. Can you guess which one it is?
Please tell me it's the Cruiserweight Championship.
It's the Cruiserweight Championship. TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick.
I cannot tell you how excited I am. How many days I've been looking
forward
to this match.
I've been looking forward to it just so we can end this whole TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. You let that part out on Raw this week where Brian was like, please, TJ, let me win. He said, let me win. I was like, I can completely believe TJ will let him win.
I left it out on purpose, I'm going to lie. My theory is that if I don't talk about it on the podcast, it's not going to happen next week. So I'm like, if I just ignore cruiserweights, it's like they didn't exist in the first place. So who do you have going over?
I have TJ Perkins going over.
See, I really had to flip a coin in my mind for this. It's like, no matter who wins, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
So
I hate both of them.
So
they're both heels to me.
I'm going Brian Kendrick. And I think he's going to win with that stupid fisherman's hook submission that he just has to have for some reason.
I need this. Okay, I have a family to feed. You work for WWE.
Yeah, Total Divas has otherwise, Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, like,
you own a wrestling school.
And, okay. Go on to the next match. New Day versus the newly formed tag team that I'm going to call Cesamus.
Okay.
Cesamus is going to win because I'm going against the 50-50 booking here. I know Cesamus beat the New Day on Raw, but they lost, didn't they? They win or lose this week.
I am the Raw expert. Sheamus and Cesaro went over.
Okay, so therefore they will win this Sunday. Wow. I just think it's because they just need something to do. Like Cesaro and Sheamus will win, and then
here's I can tell you why you're wrong. You want me to tell you why you're wrong?
Don't you say 50-50 booking to me, sir.
There's actually two reasons why you're wrong. One's hashtag 50-50 booking, get it trended on Twitter. And the other, you're acting like the company cares about Cesaro. Both of those are very...
I am a proud member of the Cesaro section and a Fala Bala, or whatever the hell Sheamus says. I still don't know what he's saying.
Fella.
It's been like a year and I still don't know what he's talking about.
So you got Sheamus and Cesaro?
Yeah, I have Sheamus and Cesaro.
I got the New Day because 50-50 booking, and they're not going to lose until they're the longest-reigning tag team championship of all time. Cool.
Cesamus is going to win, and it will be glorious for the world. Next up is I've never done the last three matches. It's the triple main event of the evening.
One of our followers on Twitter, he's never going to listen to this, but I just want him to know. At Reynolds Rain on Twitter, he's not very much of a wrestling fan, but even he knows if you have triple main event, you really don't have a main event at all. So I just want Vince to know that someone that's never watched a minute of wrestling in his life knows more than he does about his own damn company.
True. We'll start with the lowest, and we'll start with how I feel it's going to go, like in the order of 1, 2, 3, and the last one I think will be the actual main event. Number one, the first match I think it'll be kind of the opening maybe. Roman Reigns versus Rusev with Lana. I have Roman. I have Roman in a dominating fashion. Just because I feel like it would be double turn here. I think they're gonna try to work it out.
That'd be cool.
Just make Roman just beat the hell out of him to the point where it's like it's ridiculous. Have like Lana like begging and pleading with Roman to not beat up Rusev. Just have Roman be that massive dick that we know he can be perfect at. And I think there are many people trying to figure out how to fix Roman Reigns. I think a heel turn, then turn him back to babyface will be the best thing. Like have him heel turn and then maybe next year somewhere down the line. Shield reunion, that boom, babyface.
So you're taking Roman Reigns.
Give me Roman.
As Lee Corso says, not so fast.
Don't you tell me you're gonna take someone over Roman in Hell in a Cell.
I'm taking Rusev, and let me tell you why.
You're gonna lose.
I think they want to get the mid card title off Roman, and I think they want to put him back in the main event because after this KO Jericho feud and Jericho goes back with Fozzy, KO's got to have someone to lose it to. It's not going to be Seth.
Because Seth's going over it.
Exactly, and they still view Roman as their top babyface. So who better to lose the top? Who better to lose? They're one of their top heels, Kevin Owens. Who better to lose than to Roman Reigns? So, and to do that, you got to get the title off him somehow. I think it's the perfect opportunity to establish Rusev as once again this dominant U.S. champion, and I think people will like it. So.
Number 2, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell main event number 2 of the evening, which will be the second hour. I have Kevin Owens winning thanks to interference from the one, the only. Time to press start because you're playing the game Triple H. He's gonna find some way to get into that cage, and he's gonna call Seth Rollins. Then, therefore, pushing their feud up to Rumble like everyone's or Survivor Series and Rumble, whichever one they're going with, whatever's planned. I just don't see any way for Seth to win this match. No chance.
I agree. Seth Rollins. I'm more confident in this pick than I am in any other pick. Kevin Owens is going over.
Here's how confident I am in this pick. There's a better chance of Seth Rollins winning this. There's a better chance of the Cruiserweights getting over than Seth Rollins winning this match.
Say that again.
I said there's a better chance that the Cruiserweight champion will go over with the crowd than Seth Rollins winning the championship.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What is that? I never heard of that championship. Is that one of them? Is that one of them TNA titles?
Yeah.
Can we discuss TNA after we finish the prediction show?
We can.
Okay.
Kevin Owens is going to go over. There's zero chance Seth Rollins wins. I don't know if Triple H is going to come in. I'd probably say maybe Chris Jericho comes in and does some shenanigans. Kevin Owens won't go over cleanly, but
no chance.
He'll definitely go out as champion in our final match.
And the main event of the evening.
Wait, what?
Number 3.
There's a main event?
Number 3 main event.
I thought
triple
main
just making
event.
Sure.
Just making sure. So the 3 out of third main event.
Yes,
okay.
This is the closing main event.
Okay, yeah.
This main event is scheduled for 3 rounds, each 20 minutes in time.
How main of a main event is this?
The mainest.
No, it's not. It's not the mainest. Otherwise, it'd be the main event.
This is Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair. I hate that name.
Did you know that Sasha Banks is indeed the boss? And did you know that she indeed is a woman that wrestles?
I did know. That's basically her.
She
promos.
told me that a couple of times.
That's her promo.
Just a few
And
times.
it's really awful. It's because she needs to be healed.
Yep.
And I have actually this might be a bigger. I think there's a better chance Seth beats KO than there is Charlotte beating Sasha in this main event. I don't think Sasha drops the belt to Charlotte again because Charlotte's like third run with the belt in a year, which is way too many for WWE to do. I
know Roman's a 4-time WWE champion.
Roman's 3 times.
3-time.
Right? Yeah, Survivor Series lost. Sheamus lost. Won it back at Sheamus, lost at Rumble, won it back at Mania.
Yeah.
3-time champion.
Yeah, that was one calendar year.
Actually, that was within 5 months.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you never know. You never know.
You never know with this stuff. I think it's gonna be probably match of the night. Opinion on TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. That might be match of the night. I might sneak in there. But
you can't even say that with a straight face. You know what's going to be so sad is
when Cedric Alexander, Lynn Storado, and Sin Cara all lose to Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Ariel Daivari.
Besides that, when our great fans on Twitter and beyond, there's going to be those 2 or 3 huge cruiserweight division guys that are never going to listen to us again. But
oh, so you mean TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick?
So you're taking Sasha Banks?
Give me Sasha.
I'm taking Sasha Banks. Similarly to what I said about Bayley, Sasha's not losing the title till she's facing Bayley.
Nope.
And our final topic.
TNA. Is it
getting deleted?
I think it's finally time. Is he deleting? It's already decaying, so might as well go ahead and delete it while we're at it.
It is definitely obsolete as well.
Because there's the thing here. They're being sued by the state of Tennessee, which, as a proud resident of the state of Tennessee, when Bill Haslam, our governor, wants his money, he gonna get his money, okay?
Oh, without a doubt.
He gonna get that money from TNA, which, guess what, guys? They don't have the money to pay him because Dixie Carter is this week's worst person in the world because she literally took a company that was literally riding high, and then she's like, you know what I should do? Let's take everything WCW
Mick
did.
Foley says hi.
Let's take WCW and everything they did to ruin their company and put it in TNA. It'll work perfect. Let's bring all these 50-year-olds in here. They'll be so over. It'd be great. And look at all the stars they have gone. AJ Styles is now the WWE World Champion. Jay Lethal was just Ring of Honor World Champion for like one of those badass Ring of Honor champions.
Yeah. All
this talent they let just walk. Bobby Roode left TNA to come.
Young Bucks, IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions.
They let him walk away.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't use talent. I really feel bad for Billy Corgan because it looks like he got screwed in the buying process by Dixie. No surprise there. She also forced out the one guy who knew what he was doing with wrestling. It's like, hey, we only have one person on the CEO board right now who actually knows a damn thing about wrestling. Let's force him out because Kurt Angle is more important than Jeff Jarrett. Which, I mean, I can agree with, but just because Jeff was hitting his ex-wife doesn't mean anything. That's about TNA's going under. It's over. They should just let everybody walk.
Are you upset TNA's going under?
No, I think it should have gone under a while ago. They've just been scratching and dragging. Actually, no, I changed that. I am happy it's going over and it's going under now. But this last year has been one fun ride with this broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero, Delete Decay. All this has been so hilariously great that I'm going to be sad when it's gone.
And I think that's a great end of this show. Follow us on Twitter at HHWorkersShoot. We're going on YouTube, y'all. I know y'all been begging for it. And we're going to get on YouTube. I'm going to figure that out probably shortly after this.
True.
He's Heath. I'm Hunter. We're signing off. See you next week.
All right.